Hello, dear students, and welcome to this new lesson. So, you're gonna need your pen, your notebook, and of course, your window on the world textbook. Today's date is Tuesday, March the 31st, 2020. This is a grammar lesson entitled Question Tags or Tag Questions. Now, what are question tags? We will see the negative questions or the negative question tags. They are questions used when asking for agreement or confirmation. So we'll start with a positive statement and then we finish the sentence with a negative question tag. The positive statement comes at the first, part of the sentence, and the negative tag question comes at the last part of the sentence. I want you to look at these examples, please. So you have, you are a student, aren't you? You are a student, aren't you? You see, so we use this to confirm or to see if you agree with me that you are a student. Actually, we say it when, yes, we want to make confirmation or agreement about an idea or a given statement. He is very busy, isn't he? So we know from this that he is very busy. He was. Now what's the difference between the two examples and the third one? In the first one we have are and is, which is the presence of the verb to be. And here we have he was happy. Wasn't he? They were surprised. Weren't they? So this first type of examples is about the verb to be in the present and in the past. And we see that the first positive statement, we start with the subject and then the verb, while in the negative tag, we start with the verb in the negative, the verb to be in the negative, and then the person we're asking the question about. Yeah. Now let's look at this set of examples again. So we have, you speak English, don't you? He studies Spanish, doesn't he? You studied for the test, didn't you? So here we don't have the verb to be, but we have different verbs. The first one and the first and the second one are in the present simple. So we use don't you, doesn't he, and the last one you studied. So it's in the simple past. So the question tag should be also in the simple past. Instead of saying don't you, we say didn't you, because studied is in the past. That's why the question tag should be also in the same tense, which is the past simple. Yeah. Another group of examples is you have studied all week, haven't you? So the first verb is have and studied. It's an auxiliary. So in the question tag, we give the same verb but in the negative form. You had arrived before he left. So we have the auxiliary had, it becomes hadn't. You will pass the exam, won't you? So the opposite or the negative form of will, won't. So always we give the negative form of the verb or the auxiliary that we have in the first statement. Okay? And this what happens again when we start with the negative statement and we will finish with a positive question tag. So it goes to the opposing way. If we start with a positive verb, we finish with a negative question tag. But if we start with a negative verb or auxiliary, we finish with a positive question tag. Yeah. So we have again, you could do it for me, couldn't you? So could, couldn't. We must be patient, mustn't we? So must, mustn't. You should go now, shouldn't you? Should, shouldn't. It's always the opposite or the negative form. You would like a new job, wouldn't you? So, until now, we have seen how it works. If it starts with the positive statement, it finishes with the negative tag. If it starts with the negative statement, it will finish with a positive tag. We see another example. Oh, before we go, yeah, we should, keep in mind that the negative auxiliaries and verbs in tag questions are usually in the contracted form. Contracted form means the short form. You see, for instance, aren't. We don't say are not you. Aren't, isn't instead of is not. Wasn't, weren't. Don't instead of do not. Haven't instead of have not, and so on. It goes this way. So always we have the short form. Yeah, now we will see some exceptions, okay? Exceptions about, these question tags. So for instance, if you have the subject is I and the verb to be, so how is going to be the negative tag? We say aren't I? Yes, aren't. We know that aren't goes with you and so on, but in this case, yes, it goes with I. So I am late, aren't I? You see? So we don't use in the negative form, I'm not, or something like that. We use aren't. And again, when we have the verb let's do something, let's go, let's study, let's travel, the negative tag is shall we, or the question tag is shall we. It doesn't have a negative form. Shall we. So if it starts with let's, you finish with shall we. All right. So you be careful about these two exceptions because you might encounter them many times in some exercises. Very good. Now, it's exercise 1. So I give you some sentences. I give you the positive statement and you should give me the negative tag. To do this, I will give you 3 minutes countdown. See you after that. Alright, my friends, so you have taken enough time to do the exercise to complete the sentences with question tags. Now let's see the first one. You love pizza. So the first thing we do, we take a look at the verb. So where is the verb? Love. So it's not to be, it's not a model, it's an ordinary verb. And you should give in the question tag, when we have verbs like this, we don't give their opposites, but we give the opposite form of the verb to do, which is don't you. You love pizza, don't you? He can play the guitar. So from the sentence, we have can and play, which means can is a model. In this case, we give the opposite form, which is the negative form of the model, and the person, he. They were at home. Which kind of verb is this? Of course, it's the verb to be in the present or past. Yes, in the past. So we give the opposite form plus the subject or the person. We will arrive early. So here we have will and arrive, which means will is a model. And in this case, we give the opposite form of the model, which is won't. We will arrive early, won't we? She walked to school yesterday. So we have an ordinary verb, not to be and not a model, and it is in the past form because it finishes with ed. So we give the verb to do in the negative form in the past, which is didn't she. Now take a look at the rest of the answers. Yes, this is the rest of the correction. All right. I hope you have, you have done many good answers. You have given many good answers. And I hope also the idea of the question tags is clear. Anyway, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. Now we will move to, of course, the homework. But before the homework, I wanted to copy the exercise that we have just seen now. And then you do the homework. It's on page 101. Page 101. It's here in the bottom of the page. Tag questions. So you have study these statements. You have, 4 examples, just like what we have done earlier. And then you solve the 9 statements by completing them with question tags. I want you please to copy this to your copybooks, and you, as usual, you send me the pictures of what you have written. Thank you so much, and please, I want you to be safe. Be safe from what? From the evil coronavirus. And please do the exercise and don't forget to send me the pictures. Bye bye, and see you in the next lesson.